Start the meeting. If we would please take a seat and join us. I cannot thank everyone enough for our new coming back. It's been almost 2 years since we've met here, and thank you. It's been about 2 years since we have met here at Gilda's, and cannot thank them enough for allowing us to return to the original Gilda's we started meeting at from its conception. So we have had a 15+ year relationship, and cannot getting back to homeland here, a little bit more familiarity. And really appreciate the opportunity to get started. Well, as the beginning of the meeting, we generally do introduce ourselves. And so, Amy, I'll have you start.
I am Amy Christopher, and the board member
Great, thank you.
My name is Zach Keith. I'm with a company called Spot On. We do business solution software and payment processing. Just here to introduce myself and meet some people.
I'm Lieutenant Robert King. I'm the division. I've been here for almost 3 years. I'm the ninth division. Mark Abrams, I'm a board member.
Deanna Daniel, owner of Self-Speaking Losses.
Good morning, I'm Bob Pickton, representing the Cherokee Carnival Association. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Mr. Neil, Never Restaurant Group. We just opened up the Big Bed Breakfast at Runway.
Good morning, my name is Nicole Patrick. I'm with Louisville Tourism.
Good morning, I'm Judge Annette Karam, and I'm running for the Court of Appeals, and just wanted to introduce myself today. Thank you for letting us be here.
Glad to have you.
Morning, I'm Judge Angela Bissig. I'm running for the Kentucky Supreme Court, and I'm a Highlands resident as well. And I appreciate you all letting us be here, put more information on the table, and you'll see us cut out early because we have to get to court, but thanks for letting us do it.
Great to have you all, and really appreciate you being here. Due to some scheduling, Lieutenant King, I'll have you come up first today and give us some of the highlights of what's going on under your jurisdiction.
Just real quick, make it short and sweet. Crime literally is down in the Highlands. We've, knock on wood. The cold weather is, kept things under control. The bars again are going to probably be an issue again this summer. It's just the nature of the beast. We're working on that. We're still very shorthanded here in the 5th Division. We have 31 officers on day work, and we have 15. That's right, 15 people on late watch. So we're shorthanded. We're supplementing our platoons with overtime, and it's just been a struggle for the last year and a half, and it's going to continue to be. So I really don't have any specifics. If you have a specific question, I'll be happy to answer it. But
What would the optimum number of officers be if you had your way?
2019, we had 58 officers. So we're down almost 40%. So typically we like to have 12, 13 a platoon. So that, in the past we would have a detail almost every night, like a walk-in patrol detail or a bike patrol. But right now we're just running from run to run because officers can't even have off days. And they get off days, but some days we have 3 or 4 people after 2 or 3 in the morning. So, yes, sir.
I know it's early, but any reading on effectiveness of the out-of-town recruiting?
I really don't have any, I haven't heard any feedback. I mean, I think it's a great idea to go to other places and try to find folks that, Louisville's a nice place to come to. It's a nice place to live, cost of living's decent, so. But that's recruitment, and I don't really know.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay, a quick follow-up, maybe you can't answer this here, but any sense for like a leveling off of people leaving the force? I know there was a bunch of retirements early on. I mean, is that bottomed out, or are we still losing people?
We're still losing people at a pretty, I mean, I don't know what a decent rate but we're still losing folks. I mean, we're losing not only the people that are retiring, but officers that are just here for 4, 5, 6 years and then go some other departments. Now with the pay raise, I think that'll help us. It's just, it takes time to get those numbers back up. They're doing an active campaign trying to get some rehires. Folks that have retired that maybe work for other departments, with their pay increase. But by law, we can only have so many, a percentage of our force can be rehired. So you got to manage that number. So it's tough being the police anywhere. It's tough. St. Matthews, J-Town, they're having the same problems we are, trying to keep officers working. The pay is part of it. Leadership's always the equation, good, bad, and different. But just trying to get young people, older people into the professions, it's been a struggle, especially the last 3 years. And we're no exception. State police, you name it. You name a department in the United States and they're having the same problems. So.
Have people learned to start locking the cars yet?
Yes, but still it's always I'm still amazed, especially at night when I walk around the bar district, how many purses, firearms, laptops you just see sitting in the car. So you lock your car, but if the the thieves see it, they're gonna bust your window. And a lot of times folks will put their stuff in the trunk, but they'll get out of their car, open their trunk, put it in there, and someone's watching them. And the next thing you know, they're, most of the time you can get to the trunk or the hatchback. So it's just, you gotta be, it's practical, don't bring your firearm. If you're gonna have it, lock it up, trunk, before you get somewhere. Don't do it after. But it's just amazing how many times you just walk around and see backpacks and purses just sitting plain, like not even under the seat, just sitting on the seat. So, but other than that, like I said, the T-Butts models are down, auto thefts are down. Obviously, our violent crime is down. So, yes, sir.
One last question.
Yes, sir.
I know that there's been a lot of work with business owners, maybe bar and restaurant owners, Barstow, Baxter, relative to late night issues.
Yes, sir.
Can you comment at all on the progress of that group and when we might expect to hear some more?
Well, I mean, my approach is I'm pretty blunt and to the point. I have a email chain that I usually talk to the bar owners at least every other week, kind of give them a report card. Because we continue to have, it's not always the bar's problem. If Johnny and Mary have a fight inside the bar, it may not be the bar's fault. It may just be Johnny and Mary need to. We have a communication. If I have an issue with a bar, me specifically, I will have a meeting with the bar owner, maybe the building owner, to kind of curb some of the issues. Again, LMPD, myself, we're not trying to take money out of people's pockets. We're just trying to get compliance. We want the bar owners, the restaurants to be good neighbors. That goes for picking up trash, to managing their crowds when it's quitting time at 4 o'clock. It doesn't mean the problem, it doesn't become our problem. They should mitigate that a little better. But it's taking time. It's just a process. There's Bardstown Road's eclectic, it's unique. It's got a lot of different, there's a lot of varieties of entertainment. And we're trying to, manage that, by closing some of the parking lots. Like, we actively closed the Walgreens parking lot. Some of the other businesses at night, they'll block their parking lots off. But then what that does, it pushes the issues into the neighborhoods. So you got the loud cars, the disorderly folks. But again, go back 30 years, 40 years ago, the bar's a half a block from your house, it's still gonna have the same problems. We're just trying to cut down on the violence, primary, trying to keep everybody safe. The patrons, the people that live there, the people that own the place, it's a constant battle. But my communications, Aaron can attest, I'm pretty forthcoming. If there's an issue, we'll address it. If we have to call ABC, the fire marshal, but I usually give them a warning before we do all that. Because again, we're just looking for compliance. We're not trying to put fines on folks or try to take money out of their pocket. We're just, again, trying to have everybody get along and be good neighbors. So. Yes, sir.
If I may ask a question, I'm sorry, I'm online, Sergeant King. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I live in the original Highlands, and my name is Leslie, and I thank you for being there and what you just shared, especially regarding the Walgreens parking lot. That is a constant sore as well as concern in the neighborhood. And my question is, what are some plans that you all have other than closing off the parking lot? Because really, summer season hasn't really started yet. And this past weekend alone, there were 7 gunshots in that parking lot. And up to this point, we're extremely blessed that none of that is ricocheted and gone into anybody's house and harmed someone. So we would like to know, what's the comprehensive plan other than just putting those barricades up against the Walgreens parking lot entrance?
Well, the barricades do 2 things. One, it helps with our manpower issues. Instead of, putting an officer there, we have the barricades to kind of deter people from parking there, which for the most part, that seems to work. What happened the last couple of weekends is during the St. Patty's Day parade, when the vendor came and picked up barricades, they accidentally took the Walgreens barricades. So the last 2 weekends, we haven't had barricades up. And on the shootout or whatever you want to say, the other night, we did make 2 arrests on that.
Thank you.
Other than that, it's just going to continue to be a problem. Dahlem, they have the security light with cameras on it, and we're working on another solution instead of barricades, but it's just a process. And it's any big parking lot, like even the one at Urban Outfitters, one behind Lily's, just anytime there's a big parking lot, there's always going to have issues.
And I want to acknowledge online, a few people have just walked in. So Nancy, would you please start introductions?
Good morning. My name is Nancy Chambers. I'm the Executive Director of National Council of Students. I also own and operate the Nancy Shopping. And I'm a Highland Commerce Guild member of Shameless Promotions.
And
Good morning, Lori Rodker. I am the head of school at the DePaul School and also a resident of the Highlands.
well,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm Ray Brundage. I'm Ray Brundage from Highland Neighborhood.
Great. All right. And online, go ahead and Leslie, since you spoke for, please reintroduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Leslie Mccabe, and as mentioned, I live in the original Highlands neighborhood.
Great. And go ahead, introduce yourselves.
Good morning. I'm Karen Finlanson with Park Community Credit Union, former board member, and look forward to seeing you all sometime very soon in person.
We look
Thank
forward.
you, Aaron.
Oh, it's so good to see you, even in virtual.
Thank
All right,
you.
and then Mary. Hello.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth Van Meter. I am a board member of the Belknap Neighborhood Association and a realtor in the neighborhood.
Well,
I
so
live in the Belknap neighborhood.
wonderful. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I do have a little, Cassie Armstrong joins us on many occasions where is conflict of scheduling. So I'll give you some updates. The biggest news I have in working with Lieutenant King, we did meet with Nirvana and the owners and the landowners and had a very heart-to-heart discussion. They are going to change their format of how they approach their business. So Nirvana, as we know it, is being put to rest. And I'm very happy that there was a very cooperative and a consensus of what is going on in our area. And the owners of the bar are stepping up and looking for a different venue that will blend in with the area instead of causing the conflicts that we've been trying to work against. Also, we've been working with her on the late night safety community draft. And that document is to give sort of the best and the safe practices for bar owners in Jefferson County to work with. It's being modeled after Boston, and mid-April, we should have a draft out. And when we do the Highlands Community or the Highlands Guild, we'll have another meeting with the general population, but we're going to run it through the committee a couple of times, trying to get, I guess, little rough spots out. Lieutenant King's been very helpful with that as well. I don't think you all realize what resources you have sitting in the room and virtually of people who spend untold hours in trying to work for a happier community. Along with that, we also, area cleanup is April 16th. And Nick and I and Mark and others will be at Highland up here at Mid-City Mall. And we'll have all the supplies for the neighborhoods to come together and do our area cleanup. Now that's National Cleanup Day. And while it's a holiday for many between Passover and Easter, we believe that we will have a really good turnout getting ready for the up and coming Derby. Let's see here. Nick, are there any on the Bardstown Road overlay? Are there any updates?
There's no current updates. There is a meeting that is due to be scheduled probably for the next week or two. So
Great.
we'll keep you
Great.
posted on that.
Yeah. Well, it's up and coming. Another thing that is bringing a lot of excitement to the area is that the working on the Bardstown Road improvements. We've mentioned before that from the state was $1 million, from local sources $500,000. So that $1.5 million funds are going towards improvements up and down Bardstown Road. There are 4 crosswalks that they're putting in official. I feel like it's almost like the ping pong box, show them where they're going to be. But we got 4 of the crosswalks being recreated. There's about 20 up to 28 bump outs, which basically make Bardstown Road a true 2-lane. And there's multiple improvements, including trees in the area. Is it Louisville Trees or Trees of Louisville? Is a group that is putting in multiple trees, and so is Friends of Bardstown Road. So we have multiple tree plantings, we have the reshaping of Bardstown Road, and we're working on multiple levels of different problems. So I'm sorry Cassie couldn't be here to give you more details, but there's a lot happening, and this spring a lot will be revealed. Well, to get more exciting things, Nicole Fitzpatrick from Louisville Tourism is here, and she's going to give us a wonderful update on what they're doing and how we all can benefit from working with the tourism industry here in the Highlands.
Good morning, everyone. Excuse me. Thank you for having me here. First of all, it's a pleasure to be able to share what we're doing at Louisville Tourism. A lot of people and don't know what we do. They know that we're about tourism, but don't understand exactly how do we attract people to come to Louisville, why we work so hard with the community to help Louisville shine. We are a destination marketing organization which markets Louisville nationally and also internationally. We have a department of 62 people, plus some volunteers and some part-timers. Most recognize our retail store located at the 4th and Jefferson. It is the Visitor Information Center. And most people think that's where I work at, or they think I work at the convention center. But we're actually located at 5th and Main, adjacent to the golf house on the 22nd and 23rd floor. We work closely with meeting planners. We work closely with the community associations, other segments of the country, such as Chicago, DC, and Atlanta. If you're traveling in those market areas, you'll definitely see some information or some pole banners talking about bourbon country. Of course, as you know, old fashioned is what we're about. Bourbon is what we're about. Most people think that we are part of the convention center or the mayor's office, which we are not. But we work very closely with them to help make the conventions a success and to help our leisure visitors enjoy our city. We work with the convention center downtown and at the airport, and we work with them because we need their meeting space when we bring these large groups in town, such as the Street Rod Nationals, such as Mid-America Trucking Show, which has a direct, huge economic impact on our city. We also work, my job as a community relations manager is to work with local restaurants, entertainment complexes, and hotels, things of that nature. Yesterday, went to your breakfast restaurant, which was amazing. If you have not been, you have got to go to the restaurant. I had waffles, eggs, and turkey, which I was really nice to see because I eat a lot of turkey. It was nice to have that for breakfast.
We appreciate you coming in. We appreciate everything you've done, actually. That Mid-America Truck Show had a huge impact on us.
Oh, wonderful. Well, if you haven't been, it's at where the old Lynn's Paradise Cafe was at, and it is so beautiful. It was so beautiful. We were yesterday talking about taking pictures for our next visitor guide.
Right.
We do publish a visitor guide annually. We were supposed to come out the first week of February, which it did not. There is a supply chain situation. I don't know if you know about that, but yeah, there's a shortage of paper. So we had to wait until there was enough paper to print our visitor guide. It is going to print today. They were trying to make it go to print yesterday at 3:30, but it's going to print this morning as I speak. So we're looking forward to that. You definitely will receive some copies. I send it through Nick. We are printing 100,000, and then there will also be digital copies that you can actually just download with a QR code or go to our website and actually enjoy the visitor guide. We have over, tourism is the third largest economic engine of Louisville. And it is so important that we all work together to highlight our hospitality company. And even if you do not own a hospitality company, we realize a lot of people pour into our economic engine, because if you have a security company, if you have a painting company, somehow you're working with someone that's in the hospitality industry. Bourbon is our #1 seller. We're like California has wine country, we have bourbon. Most people think that conventions is our biggest attraction. It is not. 87% of people that come to Louisville, it is because of bourbon, the Derby, and horses, and just our beautiful city. It's amazing. I had someone to call me from Denver, and they were bringing their husband for their anniversary to Louisville. And I think Denver is absolutely beautiful. So that is amazing. And I ask that you follow us on go-to-louisville.com. Look at all of our social media channels, connect if you want up-to-date on information. I'm not going to go over every single part, but right here, it tells you a little bit about what we do, how many visitors come to town. We have 16.4 million visitors annually. Now, pre-pandemic, it was 16.4. Amazingly, and we dipped a little bit. We only lost 3 conventions during the pandemic. We are on a huge trajectory, and we are amazed at how many people are calling. And we're trying to keep up with those calls, keep up with the meeting planners. We're busting out of the scene. We're super busy with people wanting to come to Louisville, take a visit, tour of Louisville. Yes.
I have an Airbnb. Do you do anything for Airbnb?
Yes, we do. We actually have Airbnb on our website on go-to-louisville.com. And we do. We have quite a few Airbnbs, because when people come in town, we keep a list of Airbnbs. And if you want more information, I think I have my business card there. And I can connect you with Becca Lloyd. She's in housing. Yes, you're welcome. And we work with the Bed and Breakfast Association as well. So you will see here exactly what we do, some information about how we're paid. We are not paid directly through the visitor. We're paid through the bed tax. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I apologize. Yeah, exactly. So this is the one sheeter. And I'm happy to email this information to those who are watching virtually. I'm still learning this virtual thing. So we're paid by the bed tax. When you go to a hotel and you see a 17% bed tax on top of what you're paying as far as hotel fees, and you go, why so much? That money helps fund destination marketing organizations such as Louisville Tourism to be able to produce collateral material to get people to come to Louisville. It also funds our Louisville Tourism so that we can travel, so that we can bring groups into town. We also, of course, as you probably heard, we have the Forecastle Festival that's coming end of May. We have Bourbon and Beyond that's taking place in September. And then following that is the Louder Than Life, which is right in the middle of Bourbon Month. So we are excited that these three huge festivals are coming with huge headliners as well. On the second page, you'll see if you have any events that's taking place at your restaurant, at your bar, at any hospitality related company, you can place it on our website at no cost. And there is a detailed information about that. It takes like a minute to do that. I also wanted to share what we received from the Kentucky International Convention Center and the Kentucky Exposition Center. This is the data that we receive on a monthly basis. And it talks about the event forecast for April 2022. And it talks about over 75,000 attendees will be at those two conventions. And then there's an economic impact of 27.7 million. So it is, and this is just the convention centers alone, not speaking of the leisure impact that it has. And then we also receive an event advisory. And I wanted to share this with you because you'll see at the very bottom, there is actually some social media channels that you can connect with so that you can also stay in tune as to who's coming in town, when they're coming in town, and you're not caught off guard. And if you don't own a company that is a hospitality or tourism related company, I use this information, my husband uses this information, because I typically, what I do is I work with communities in a DEI, also manage the website. I help to manage the website, particularly our dining partners. I am the liaison for dining partners. But coming into town, I pay attention to this so I know how much traffic, or do I want to go out to eat lunch? If the lines are going to be super long, I will stay pretty much inside or choose to go do something walkable. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
Nicole, would you maybe tell us a little bit about the service you offer on your website? If someone is looking for employment in the hospitality industry, or if someone is offering.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. We recently had something called the Hospitality Tourism Career Fair. There are many people who are looking for jobs, and we have a website. If you go to our website, go to louisville.com. On the search function, just pick jobs. There are numerous jobs that are listed from partners and non-partners and looking for people to work. There is, we did this hospitality career fair about 3 weeks ago at Kentucky Derby Museum, huge success. I tell people the qualifications to be a manager is prior to the pandemic is not the same post-pandemic. So we're telling people, if you get your resume, you never know. You walk into that interview and they will hire you. It's not always based on qualifications. So, but there's numerous jobs on there. And I will constantly, probably about 5 to 10 job postings per day. So we invite you to share that with your loved ones, your friends, your community about our hospitality website and showcase of our tourism jobs. If you are hiring, you can just, on that website, you can just enter the information and it takes less than a minute and it comes directly to me. All I'm going to look for is for grammar errors. I'm not going to change anything and then I immediately post it. And it's easy because you can tell when you want it to post and when you want it to fall off. You do not have to manage that listings once you place that listing on there. So, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
And again, it's interesting how COVID has created a different industry as spinoffs, the support of tourism for local jobs. And again, with the restaurant industries and the constant change, it's another resource for them as well. Speaking of resources, and again, we had a wonderful testimony to the Big Bad Breakfast. I have to at least tell you all, their first customer happened to be my daughter Lauren and I. And we were braving the cold that day. And we waited patiently. And as soon, I believe, Edmund, you were the one who opened the door. And so I cannot say enough about the recreation of a true destination restaurant. If anyone had thought about the past and if you wanted to create a chain, Big Bad Breakfast seems to me very similar in the concept, the hope. The one thing I can attest to is that the restrooms are about 1,000 times better. And I know a lot of people kid, but if you've been in that building, I've been going to that building ever since it was opened as Lynn's, and the transitions to barbecue and now to Big Bad Breakfast. You have moved to the Taj Mahal of restaurants in the restaurant industry. It used to be a traveling garage, you know, like you'd have to go get the key, and when you open the door, it was like, whoa. Well, it's gone from that. Now you have to put on sunglasses because there's so much light in there, it glares. So enough about that. But Edmund and Highland, please come up and fill us in about the Big Bad Breakfast.
Sure. Thank you, Aaron. So once again, my name is Edmund Highland. I'm with the Endeavor Restaurant Group. We're based here out of Louisville. Steve Ritchie is the CEO, and we've known each other for many years. So we were excited when we had the opportunity to bring Big Bad Breakfast here. Tell you a little bit about how it became what it is. It's a James Beard award-winning chef, John Currents. He grew up in New Orleans. He then moved to Oxford, Mississippi, and opened up what was called City Grocery. He still has that restaurant. That happens to be the restaurant that he won the James Beard Award for Southern Chefs. He was nominated 3 or 4 times before he won. In 2008, he decided that he wanted to branch out. He didn't think that any chefs had really taken breakfast seriously. So he went about creating Big Bad Breakfast back in 2008. He opened up in Oxford, Mississippi. Over the years, it has started to grow. The way it works and the way we had success here in Louisville is it's a licensing agreement where he partners with folks throughout the country. We're the 11th one that they've built. Most of them are in Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi. The thing that we love about John is if you go to all Big Bad Breakfast, they're all going to look different. And he gave us the freedom to design this restaurant based on the neighborhood, based on the past, based on Lynn's. We did a lot of things that kind of nodded our head to Lynn. We understood what the history of that building was. We kind of understood why Martin's Barbecue maybe didn't work in that location. So we were very happy that he let us do what we wanted to do. And we're very pleased with the way it turned out. We partnered with a local Miranda construction base here in Louisville as well, did the build out for us. We've actually just signed a lease for our second Big Bad Breakfast here in Louisville. It'll be over on the East End, and hear more about that as we finalize those details. So John is in town several times. He's at the restaurant. He'll sign the cookbooks. He's been a great partner to work with, and we're very excited about being in the neighborhood and super excited about the way the neighborhood has responded to us. We plan on continuing to be involved in the neighborhood and do things as the summer comes about on the outside of the building. If you've been on the weekends, it's an hour, 45-minute wait. So people are in the parking lot waiting. We'd love to have some music out there. We now have an outside bar that you can get your Bloody Mary and mimosas. So just overall, overwhelmed with the response and certainly much busier than we anticipated we were going to be. So we're very pleased and we appreciate everything that the neighborhood's done for us. You guys have any questions for me or us?
Well, talk a little bit about the designated outside seating area.
Yep, so we do have a patio. The patio is heated. We had people sitting on the patio both Saturday and Sunday the last 2 weekends. And if you were outside, you'll understand how cold it was. Probably more out of frustration that they didn't want to wait an hour and a half for a table, but we do have that. We also have we built a pergola up near the road that probably seats about 15 or 20 people as well. We have music speakers on the outside out there. And that's what, gave us the idea to put the outside bar. It's a rolling bar that will roll out there in good weather. So you don't have to come inside to get your cocktails or beverages as you wait outside in the parking lot. So we know that the parking is very tight there. We're trying to work with our neighbors. Everybody's been very patient with us about where our patrons park. We have had folks put up some nice signs so that they understand where they can and cannot park. And as you're aware, if you've ever been to that building, there's only about 22 spots. So traffic has been an issue. I think it's gotten better as we've gotten better at getting people in and out of there, but we understand that has been a problem for the neighborhood as well.
And what about Yelp?
Yelp. So yes, that's great. Thank you, Aaron. People ask if we take reservations. We do not take reservations, but we do use Yelp waitlist, which means if you go to Yelp, you can pull up our site, you type in Big Bed Breakfast, it'll tell you how long our wait is, and then you can get on the wait while you're at home. It'll give you an estimated time. So if it's say we're on a 45-minute wait, it'll tell you when it thinks you should arrive at the restaurant. You come in and you check in with us, and then you're kind of already in the queue so that you don't have to wait that entire time. It's been very helpful. Hopefully we get the word out, because the people who don't use Yelp sometimes don't understand why Aaron gets to walk in and get a seat in 15 minutes and they've been waiting an hour and a half. So good call out.
Is there a slow time?
The slow time, if you want to get in on the weekend, is before 8 a.m. We usually go on a wait about 8:20 or 8:30. During the weekdays, it's actually been pretty good. You can get in before 10 a.m. The biggest wait we've been on the last couple of weeks is about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll go on a wait from maybe 9:30 to 11. But during the weekdays, absolutely better than trying to get in on the weekends. Yep, sorry, we're open 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day of the week, 7 days a week.
What's been the hot seller?
The hot brown. So another thing that John allowed us to do was recommend recipes. We submitted recipes to John. So we have regional specialties, and one of our most popular is obviously the hot brown. It's our take on the hot brown. It's biscuits and Mornay sauce. We have Tabasco cured bacon, egg any way you want it on the top. I prefer mine over easy. It's very yummy. Turkey, as Nicole said. It's a popular dish, no doubt about it.
And what about you all were really sort of promoting taking home different pounds of meat?
Yep. So one of the things that the company, there's a fatback company that produces our bacon, and it's very unique, because what John and his partners decided to do was take the pepper mash from Tabasco, the making of Tabasco. That product is just thrown away. It's never used. He took that pepper mash, Tabasco pepper mash, and put in some brown sugar. That's how we cure our bacon. So we have our own company that produces all of our bacon and pork products. So we do sell our andouille sausage, all of our sausages by the pound, our bacon by the pound. One of the most successful things that we sell is his hot sauce. If you've ever tried his hot sauce, it's very good. We sell that retail. We've used local coffee beans and local espresso beans. We sell those. We use Weisenberger grits. We sell those as well. So we try and be involved in the communities that we're in. We have the rights to do this in Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. Our hope is to get some restaurants here in Louisville, but then continue to kind of go out where we have other restaurants. Endeavor Restaurant Group also owns Lavino. We have 5 of those, 2 here in Louisville, 1 in Cincinnati, and 2 in Indianapolis.
And who is your coffee? Because it actually is a very
I'm not going to say it right. Synergos.
Well, I'm the same way. Damn.
You guys know it. That's who we use. I'm embarrassed that I can't pronounce it right now, but no. Well, yes. We'll take your word for it, Aaron. They've been great partners though.
Make
Where's your farm located, where you raise the hogs?
It's down in Alabama. Great questions. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you at the restaurant. Thanks, Aaron.
Now I have to encourage you all to stick around because they've been so kind to give us 4 gift cards, and we'll have a drawing after we get a little update about the mayor forum. The Highlands Commerce Guild has been active on many levels as far as policymaking in the sense of best practices for bars and restaurants, but we're also participating with other business associations and having a citywide mayor's forum. Nick, would you give us the update where we're at on that?
Good morning to everyone. As most of you probably know, there is a mayoral, or the primary, coming up on May the 17th. And we have probably the largest number of candidates. There's 14 that have thrown their name in the hat. So lots of potential candidates. LIBA is kind of leading the effort on this. LIBA, I'm sure most of you are familiar with LIBA. That's a Louisville Independent Business Alliance. And they have teamed up with Louisville Public Media, who will do live broadcast on their radio. And WDRB will do a live streaming. So good coverage from that standpoint. And they've also, LIBA has coordinated with about 10 organizations, Highland Commerce Guild being one of them, and many other business associations and our chambers. So all of us are working as a group to bring this about. It will take place, the mayoral forum. It is a forum versus the debate, but it will take place on April the 25th, yes, at 5:30 p.m. It will be on the U of L campus in a building called the DLC. That's the Student Activity Center Ballroom, and it has a great capacity. It can accommodate about 900 people. It is kind of on the Floyd Street side of the U of L campus, and there is a huge parking garage right next to it, so parking will be readily available. But anyway, we would encourage, we will be sending out a survey through LIBA that LIBA will provide us a copy of. We'll get it out to all of our members. So we're kind of looking for feedback, maybe questions anyone may have that they would want to ask the candidates. And also it will be required that you register if you want to attend. We're not sure how popular this is going to be. We think it's going to be popular. So we want everyone to register so that you have an RSVP and are able to get in. So any questions? It will be streamed live streamed by, it won't be Zoom, but it'll be live streamed by WDRB, and also Louisville Public Media will carry it live on our radio. So those two options. I think I've covered all the bases here. So appreciate it and hope to see a lot of folks there.
Sundergoss, that's it, Aaron. That's the espresso.
Thank you. Sundergoss.
Just popped into my head.
I have a hard time. I love that place. And every time I go in there, I keep looking at it. It just will not click. So it is great coffee. And again, LIBA is about the local independent businesses. I think supporting them, we all try it. The Highlands is all about it. And again, they are local and have done extremely well. Yes.
One thing forgot to mention that is the focus of this forum will be small business and economic development. So kind of narrow that down. There's so many issues in our community. We want to kind of focus on that.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Another aspect is that I'm encouraging the neighborhood associations to book through us, because many of the issues that we're working with, since we are one of the few residential business developments in Louisville, the combination, only a handful of streets sort of have similar issues. So we hope that the neighborhood associations will send representatives as well. We believe it's going to be due to the capacity. I mean, I think it's 600, that facility, 900, that facility has 900. So I think fairly we'll have at least 50 spots for people, but we just need to get that reservation ironed out, and we encourage everyone to come. As Nick said, we have a pretty big arena, And it's one of the few opportunities you have to really sort of find out what's going on. We do ask for questions. That's one thing that we are working with the community. We've sent out our emails, but if anybody in TV land, if you send us your questions, they would be forwarded to be part of the program. So think ahead, participate, make reservations, and send in those questions. Well,
How do you get reservations?
they're getting, the best thing right now is make the Highlands Guild where you want to go. Yes, because there is going to be sort of a master set up. We do not have that link. It's coming, but make us aware and we'll communicate, let people know when the link's live. But thank you for asking, because I'm excited about it. And again, just in our community, so much is going on. It's time to be more hands-on instead of often to the side. Well, I tell you, I know that everyone is just hanging by their fingernails, waiting for this great thing getting ready to happen. And that is 4 gift cards from Big Bad Breakfast. They're $25 a piece. Now, Nick, have you had an opportunity to put your numbers together and they set the dice to roll?
Yes. We get to draw the, I have listed everyone who is in attendance today. I put your name down with a course.
Even TV land people, you're in there. That's right.
There's a corresponding number next to your name. So there are 4 gift cards. Very appreciative of that. So your odds are very good.
Number 10, I don't know who number 10 is, but number 10.
That is Laurie. Number 5 is Aaron.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh. When I get your dollar bill, we still have your dollar bill signed, buddy. Number 8.
Nancy.
Lucky 13.
13 is an online person, Karen Finlinson.
It is my birthday, so happy birthday to me. Yay, thank you.
All right. All right.
Yay,
Well, that is excitement, girl.
thank you.
Hey, you tell me when you go and I'll go.
Let's do it.
All right. Now, at this point in time, we have the concept of shameless promotions, or just some information that you may know that would be helpful to the community from your neighborhood associations, or I believe there is a Cherokee Triangle Fair coming up.
That is absolutely correct. The dates for this year's 50th anniversary of the Cherokee Triangle Art Fair. May 1st. The fair runs from 10 in the morning until 6 at night on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday night, after the booths close, the band will continue to play for a couple hours in the band shell. And we're promising a beautiful evening with no rain, sunshine, and low humidity. So anyway, we're excited about it. It's the 50th anniversary. We're expecting great crowds. What we've seen post-COVID as people are just anxious to get out and go. So we've got over 200 jury artists and 50 years of, it tells you something about it. Must be pretty good. So
Yes, sir.
Anyway, hope we all can make it and look forward to seeing you. Thank
Do you know if they're going to do bike parking, or like in the past, they encourage people to bike in and do walk in, but they did actually have an assigned area for bike parking.
That's a great question, which I cannot answer specifically, but I hope you can answer.
You're the man. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, now who else? All right, surely to goodness, there's a little shameless in some of these people. So what's going on in the neighborhood? Are y'all in your businesses offering any specials? What about Tyler? Anything happening over there?
We are gearing up for, we're going to have Shakespeare in the park. I'm not sure of the date on that. We look at our Facebook page. We have Shakespeare in the park coming. We are going to be doing the 4th of July. We're going to have Easter celebration. The usual Easter egg, we'll have 4 areas for the 4 different age groups. A lot going on. I think the Shakespeare is the 14th, I think. But best to look at Facebook for that.
All right. Now, I heard a rumor that you have 1,000 eggs. It would be on April 16th at noon,
There you go.
and that you have 1,000 eggs stashed across the park for any and all youngsters to come and participate.
Absolutely.
So we encourage people to come and participate in the pickup of trash and their great glories, the banner up and down the corridor, as well as going forth and hunt those eggs. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. If no one has any other comments or thoughts, I cannot thank you all in person as well as on Zoom for participating. Nick Morris has the gift cards in hand, and yes.
Well, I just want to mention that we have something called a Bourbon City Brief newsletter. If you shoot me an email, I'll add you to the distribution list. It comes out every 2 weeks, and it includes everything regarding press releases, alerts, what's taking place in regards to Derby. Any and everything is included.
Okay.
You can also get involved in other opportunities, but it's more like FYI.
Do you, I was trying to think, I know Amy can put it in our newsletter. What, can you tell us what it is for the people online, or maybe you can type it in the comment section?
Okay, it's called the Bourbon City newsletter, Bourbon City Brief.
Bourbon City Brief
Newsletter. And I'm happy to forward to someone every 2 weeks. And
Great.
make sure everyone's, okay, I'll send it to you.
All right. The inside of the track, you just been included. All right. Well, by all means, there's Casito products available. Please, let's talk a little bit after the meeting, and cannot thank you all enough for attending. Good day.
Thank you. Actually, wait, that.